Hello everyone and welcome back to the OSC Masters Weekly, or the C Masters Weekly I guess it would be called, but number 53. We are in the semifinals here. This is a best of 5, and we have in the bottom spawn position of Bonnie Research Station, playing the Pink Zargan, representing Psystorm Gaming. He is number 1 in OSC points currently. It is Ender.
Yes, it is. And up here in the top spawn, playing in the green trunks from TS, it is our Protoss player, Believe. And you mentioned Ender number 1 in OSC points, and so why don't you tell us a little bit about those OSC points? Ooh.
Well, those OSC points actually you can get in some really cool ways. Right off the bat, yes, you can win a tournament and get them, but there's also some cool things, if I can remember what they're called, is bounty points. If you beat a player in this tournament that is significantly above you, you get a couple points, and I think that's a really cool idea to do. Instead of just winning, you can kind of work your way up if you're a little bit maybe a journeyman or just starting off the win, or just starting off the playing game.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool way of ranking the players, and it's kind of interesting. It rewards people who participate more, but also, obviously, people who win and people who cause upsets. It rewards good kind of spectator play, so it's pretty cool to see that. For now, though, Ender has gone for a favorite kind of strategy of Hydras with the gold mineral patches, and some people are saying the video is a little choppy, but I don't know. I think it's on Twitch's end because I've only dropped 167 frames over the nearly 3 hours course of the broadcast, so I don't think it's anything from us. But
no, this is really cool from Ender. I've seen not exactly this, but he's done kind of sort of this type of thing, taking the gold first or just taking 3 bases really quickly. Not I want to say greedy, but I also want to. He doesn't always play greedy, so he's a very variable player, but he can play this very greedy style, which I actually kind of like if he can execute it well versus the Protoss. And Believe the Protoss, it is really scary if he does not scout this and then walks over, let's say at the 8-9 minute mark, and oh crap, you're on 3 base. I'm on like 1 base.
Yeah, it gets a bit interesting, and the way Ender's gone about it is pretty cool as well, taking the extra natural base as well, or I guess this is the normal 3rd base as well. So if Ender loses either one of these, he's probably feeling pretty okay. And he obviously has this natural base to fall back on later on as well, which he'll be able to take basically for free whenever he wants. And he's going to check down here, make sure there's no anything funny going on there.
Yeah, definitely. His first
Wait a minute.
Both his overlords have gotten very nice scouts into Believe's base, and so just making sure, as I was saying, no shenanigans. From Believe, he is going Stargate, and this Stargate has not been scouted though by Ender, and it could be really interesting if he goes maybe for some Phoenix harassment. See, with Stargate, you can be pretty harassy against a 3-base player, but you can be pretty harassy versus a 3-base player. But on the other hand, if you harass them too much and wait too long, you can have you can be in a very bad position. Is my mic screwing up?
No, it's fine. It's on my end. I fixed it. But
oh, okay. I was reading that and I was like, oh crap! Like this is why I stopped.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Especially when one of those bases is a gold base. Enders normally you get up to full saturation as like 10, 11 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And with that gold base, you can get there much faster because not only do you get the faster income, or you saturate it with fewer drones, but you get the same income out of it when it's saturated, a little higher maybe, and obviously you get the extra income as it's ramping up, so you get that much faster. And Believe is going to try and tamper that down as much as he can with this Oracle, but it's not going to be able to do too much here with the 2 queens, 4 kills on the Oracle. Yeah, he's going to get that, but I mean, that's not like game ending, although 5 is pretty nice, but losing it, I don't know, it wasn't worth that last extra kill. And
I don't know if you should turn up my sound.
There's a 2-minute delay.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry.
It's alright.
Alright, but with those oracles though, what's really scary is, okay, he keeps going oracle, but Ender is going roaches, so I mean, because of the fact that Ender is going roaches, it's just a little bit scary because
as Stargate, I know as a Protoss, it's incredibly hard to defend, and it's really scary to defend too. So it's going to be really key for him to get a lot of damage done into Ender's main base, or I believe has to. He has to. If he does not, he's in a bad position. But getting that third base at the 8-minute mark, maybe a little bit early, but I think that's really what he needs to do if he wants to keep up.
Yeah, but obviously he takes that little bit of risk because Ender does have that boosted income. He's ready to start producing units much, much faster. Although he's only at 56 drones, he's almost on full 3-base saturation. His main and his natural, or his third base, I guess, location are both on like full saturation. This gold base is almost there, just the gases. So he's able to pump out a lot of roaches. The Hydroden going down now as well. He's going to be, with the extra macro hatchery, he's going to be all units from here on out until he actually starts mining out his bases.
Yeah. And especially he does have that one Evo chamber, so it's all units, and he's just giving himself a little bit enough wiggle room. If for some reason this doesn't work, he's going to be in a fine position and moving into the late game. But on Believe's side of the map, putting on a lot of gateways, and he's got so many sentries right now, he totally expects a massive Hydro Roach all-in, which that's probably what's going to come here, especially with his Oracle really spotting a lot of... Ooh, he does not want to lose his Oracle. He's got to be really careful. But it's kind of scary for Believe because it's very gimmicky. Can you make 9 sentries work? If you can make it work, you're fine. If one force field not quite right, it's going to be very, very hard.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got a lot of force fields to patch those holes with. As me and my friend used to often joke, there's 2 approaches to force fields. There's the MC approach, where you just put every single force field down perfectly, and you have as few sentries, exactly the right number of sentries, just because you don't need so few. Or there's the grubby approach, where you just put down force fields across basically their entire army, and then it just powers through them. You just build this many sentries. This is 11 sentries now. You don't need to have good force fields. You just need to hold F and drag it across their army.
What I love is there's a GIF on Reddit of a guy with like a GameCube or like an Xbox controller doing the force fields. Then he like does a perfect circular force field of all the banelings.
It's pretty sick.
It's so good, so good. But right now, Ender really only going into Hydras. I'd expect some roaches, and this is going to be scary. This would be scary for Ender to face Believe, but Believe is putting so much into Stalkers and Sentries, he does not have Colossus or Templar. So this is going to be so much DPS, and Ender needs to attack quickly before he gives Believe a chance to get this. So I'm really kind of excited, I want to say, to see how this is going to work out, because it could go really heavily either way.
Yeah, the interesting thing, or the scary thing here for Believe, really, is that Ender has a lot of Hydralisks, and his army is Stalkers and Sentries. That's
no Colossus, no Templar.
Yeah, those are
so much gas.
None of those are really very good on the Hydralisks, although his +2 is going to be pretty handy. He does have Blink as well, so there's the possibility he can hold it off, but it is going to be very, very tough if Ender actually decides to push in here. And he's going to have the perfect force fields, the perfect blinks, until he actually gets some splash damage out to face off against these Hydralisks.
The one nice thing, though, for Believe, he did not have a proxy pylon before out on the map, but now he has a Warp Prism. Yes, he has to go through a lot of Overlords to get anywhere, but he does have a counterattack option that is very quick. Now, Link's coming in first for Ender, just kind of poking around. There's a very large open space on the left-hand side of Ender's third base here, but they are both, or he is on third base while we see Ender on fourth base. Sorry, my bad. On Believe, there's a very large opening on Believe's left-hand side of the base, but interestingly enough, Ender is just going completely home. He saw the +2 attack. And I mean, there's no Archons or anything. There was a hallucination, so it's interesting for him. Oh, a little Zealot run by, my bad.
Yeah, a little bit of a harass with that War Prism does get taken out, and yeah, I mean, Ender decides to back off, which I find is really interesting. Believe is so holed up here, but way back. If Ender was actually moving in, had a big concave of Hydras, Believe would have to be trying to fight through, and there'd be this nexus, there'd be these gateways, there'd be this simulator, there'd be all these patches of minerals in the way of him actually getting a full fighting concave unit. So it would be so bad for him to actually engage like that. But I mean, Ender obviously he knows something I don't, because he is backing all the way off and just kind of playing it a bit safer.
Yeah,
he's got Hive
and
up.
Only
God damn.
What?
He's got Hive up really, really fast. These ultras coming out now. Or
He got Hive up really fast because his fourth base still does not have any drones, or I don't know what base this is because there was Zealots cleaned up some stuff on the right-hand side, but the base on the left-hand side still only has two drones, so I mean, he's kind of sacrificed that, but now he's allowing Believe to get on 4 bases himself and getting up a very, very strong economy. Currently, they're very, very even on Harvesters, and this is only favoring the Protoss, except for simply the Army composition. He's getting out Immortals now. I mean, he does have a couple High Templars, but I'm a little bit worried. Yes, you can do some great Blink Micro. Yes, you can have great Force Fields, but it's a little bit strange from Believe. Do you think this is a play style, or he's spotted something on the side of Ender?
I don't know. It is interesting. I have to think he spotted something because he hasn't actually seen anything. The Ultra's Cavern, if he'd seen the Ultra's Cavern, he knew this was coming, this would be pretty much the perfect reaction. With the Immortals coming out, plus 3 attack as well. Immortals just rip through Ultras, and DT's coming in, they do a lot of damage to Ultras, though you still don't want them in the fight, you generally want those Archons. And yeah, it's really,
very nice
really
reveal, though.
to see. I think
he is starting.
Are going to be crucial.
He is starting to get himself back into the game with the reveal. Is my sound still strange because GGU make
it
is
sounds
apparently...
to me. It's somebody said it was okay.
Yep. All right, we're cool with that then. All right, but very nice reveal is giving him a lot of vision right now. Believe is coming in for the attack though. No observers with his army though, so he's going to be fighting on creep the entire way. Zealots not in the great place. Sentries, very nice blinding clouds go down. There is still no storms. Guardian shield goes up with these units simply doing 0 damage in the blinding cloud. A nice storm in the top part of the army, and 1 feedback on one of these Vipers, but there's really nothing to pull except for the Immortals. Immortals doing a lot of damage. It's actually really nice force fields, but then there's 9 spines.
Yeah, breaking through these spine crawlers is going to take some time. Although actually with the Immortals, maybe a little less than Ender hopes it would. But hopefully it should buy him enough time to remax a little bit on these roaches. The remainder of his army goes over here and defends on the right hand side. But he's going to lose this left hand side base, which is absolutely crucial because he's got oh my god, Archons are actually one-shotting these drones right now with very few defense upgrades on Ender's side. And yeah, now Believe has to run back a little bit in the face of all these roaches coming out, but the force field's coming in, some reinforcing Stalkers blink together to join up with the army. 1 Immortal is pulled, but there's still 1 more, dealing out its damage to all those roaches, and with all the force fields that have been thrown down, Ender does have to back off. 2 Colossi on the way.
And it is the grubby style. Now, I love these the Colossi coming out of Believe. Basically, he did the damage he needs to do, and he's not a lower level player that says, okay, I'm going to keep doing this because it works. He says, I know I need to transition, and my opponent cannot keep transitioning with me. He's playing that chess counter game, which is really, he's getting out the Colossus, and he's going to counter his opponent while he is a huge gateway force, and this is going to push through very, very well. Now, on the right-hand side, there is a Zealot run-by, which will meet opposition. Actually, it's on move command, but this is giving Believe a little bit of time to be able to counter this, and this is looking so good for Believe. And finally, a Mothership Core does get out, and before it was sniped in the main battle, and I was really hoping he'd have that just in case he needs to TP out.
Yeah, it was always handy to have one of them lying around. And yeah, Believe more and more Zealot run-by is just going around, spending all his minerals on that because he's got so much gas banked up. 2 Stargates going down as well. I think Believe is setting up his next transition. But for now, he's got 4 Colossi, a whole bunch of Stalkers, and Ender is still stuck on this Roach Hydra. 1 Ultra is now going out.
And what's helping Believe even more is just the upgrades of Ender. Ender only at 2-2 now, but he finally did realize in that really big conflict, I'm guessing he lost more than he thought he would, and he's starting to get those upgrades, but they're still very, very behind. Actually, Believe is only a little bit ahead, but still he is behind on those upgrades, and I'd love to see one observer with Believe's army. I mean, a lot of what happened in these engagements is the force. I mean, they got past the force field. How'd they get past the force field? There was creep.
Yeah, but Zealot run-by going down the right-hand side, and this time it catches Ender unaware. It's going to clean up all the units, all resistance here, and then get to work on this hatchery, get to work on these drones, as at the same time Warp Prism goes towards the natural base for Ender. But the big engagement is going down. Big fungal blinding clouds hitting a lot of this Protoss army. One of these Colossi completely useless, but as the fungal wears off, the Colossi move forward, still nothing to oppose them, and they rip through everything from Ender. GG in the first game.